Welcome to The Relay, a podcast from Wolff Relay where we dive behind the scenes of our operations, teams, and industry.
Name's Marcus Myers. I've been working at Wolff Relay for 6 years on the 27th. I am the Director of Maintenance, was the Director of Maintenance and Safety for the past 5 years, and will be transitioning the safety portion of the company over to William Everett within the next 3 to 6 months. And today I have TJ Wolff.
I'm TJ, and I've been with Wolff Relay for almost 3.5 years. I'm in charge of inspections.
So next week, Lonnie and I both will be traveling to Orlando, Florida to attend the TMC hosted by the American Trucking Association. It's called the Technology and Maintenance Council. They have multiple different committees surrounding chassis, engine, batteries, trailers, pretty much anything that you can think of. Last year, the main focus was battery electric vehicles, which is something that does not currently fit our needs, but we were able to learn lots about batteries, which have influenced us to change from lead acid over to AGM, and we have seen our jump starts decrease drastically. We have swapped over practically every unit that we have in service right now to AGM batteries, which has a deeper reserve cycle than the typical battery does. That was probably the biggest thing that we learned about last year. It also opened us up to a couple of different products and services that we have put into place, such as the idle smart systems that are equipped on 10 of our 2020 Mack Anthems, and it is basically a lot like the optimized idle on the Freightliners. It monitors the cab temp and the battery voltage, and it will crank the unit up to keep it to the desired temp. It's a lot like your home AC system. It has a thermostat in it. It will crank up and turn off the truck, and we have had 0 jump starts on the trucks that are equipped with that. We've had one issue with that, and it was actually a tablet failure, and we were able to get it resolved within 7 days. That is a product that we do plan on speccing for the Peterbilt's, Volvos that we have coming, and the Macks moving forward. And we'll see what this year brings. I know there's a lot of focus around electric, but that's going to be, mainly around refuse and more of your local import delivery services rather than the over-the-road. But we're excited to see, what different technologies are out there. We were introduced to SmartDrive 3 years ago, pre-COVID, and we've put SmartDrive into our trucks, and we have it fully equipped throughout the fleet. Seeing a pretty good return and increase of cutting out on drowsy driving. That was the main focus that steered us towards SmartDrive. It notifies the driver whenever they're having a safety event. It beeps anytime that their eyes are closed longer than they should be. It'll notify them, and it also notifies us that we need to check on the driver and possibly have them pull over and get some rest before an event could happen. So before SmartDrive, we had about 3 events that I can think of and recall that were drowsy driving had a influence on. None of them were tragic. They were all, very minor, but preventing a minor accident alleviates a tragic one ever occurring. And with the research that the ATRI done, that is the number one cause of accidents right now, with cell phones being second. Drowsy driving is a very, very large concern for the entire industry, and that is came up even more since ELDs have went into effect, because drivers are not able to falsify their logs anymore and take a nap and be able to keep going. So they're pushed against racing the clock, not able to get maybe a nap when needed, and it has created an increase of drowsiness, across different realms of the industry. 2 years ago, we put into effect TJ moving over here, taking over our in-services, out-of-services, and new hire inspections. It kind of gives us a uniform of everything that's being installed on the trucks before going into service and the driver being seated in it. If you would kind of tell everybody, what you do on the in-service, out-of-service, and inspections.
When I get a truck for in-service, when they bring me like a brand new truck that comes in, I'll look everything over. I'll install the SmartDrive system, the OmniTracks, and the decals, all the truck numbers, just basically getting it ready for somebody to get into and it's road ready. Now, as far as inspections, when a truck is emptied and inspection comes through, I look over the whole entire truck from top to bottom and find whatever issues that I know is against DOT regulations. And if it is, I find something. I make sure that the repairs are done on the truck so it is safe for the drivers to drive it. There's a lot of DOT safety regulations that a lot of people aren't aware of, that what they look for. I try to make sure that I meet all the standards for it. I have training with actual what a DOT officer was looking for when they do get pulled over. There was a time when we were doing a video for the new fuel pump that we have down there, and a driver was up to it trying to fuel his truck, and I just had noticed, I just looked over and saw one of his tires was flat. And I told him, I was like, hey, your rear tire back here is flat. He was like, oh yeah, I did a pre-trip, But then again, it's little stuff that I noticed that nobody else can notice, really. I paid more attention to detail than really anything else. I mean, I'm very detail oriented. I guess it's an OCD about me. But I mean, I'm good at it, and that's really all I try to do is notice and make sure that they're safe, so they're not stranded somewhere or they're broke down and they're missing out on a load or missing out on pay, because it's hurting them. I try to prevent all that from happening. Now, when we get a vehicle in that to decommission, I take all the decals off of it. I take all of our systems out that we have in there, our OmniTracks and our camera systems. I make sure the tags, everything that I had put on that truck and that is ours, I make sure I get it all out, and then we put it up for sale.
Yeah, and since we put that program into effect, it's we've had a lot better driver satisfaction. Within the first 90 days is the most influential part on an employee's outlook of the company, and I feel like it's really helped us move the bar a little higher on that.
Yeah, because I'll even get a lot of the owner ops will stop by and they'll ask me, hey, you mind if you can look over my truck real quick and see, if you could find anything wrong with it, before I go out on this long drive. I just want to make sure everything's okay before I hit the road. And I always tell them, like, yeah, that's fine. Just give me a second. Let me clear my bay for you. And I look it over and let them know, hey, okay, this is wrong. This you can get by with until, you make it back in town, for like a PM service or something, or you got like 1,000 more miles till you need this done, or you got this leak in, But I mean, your tires, your brakes, as far as safety wise, you're good, and they kind of like that because they can literally stop by and ask me, hey, look, can you look at this real quick to see if this is okay? And I like that. It makes me feel good that, I'm making them feel safe on the road because they're relying on me. So.
Yeah, so the current plans for equipment for the year is we'll be adding 10 Volvos, potentially 15. We'll know more on the other 5 mid-April. We have 10 Max currently on order that should start showing up April to May. We have 10 Peterbilts ordered that will come 3 to each quarter. Well, 3 in the second quarter, 4 in the third quarter, and 4 in the fourth quarter. And then we have 10 Freightliners coming this year. And then we also have 100 trailers on order. And that will put us completely out of leasing equipment outside of the Metro leasing trailers. And as soon as that lease is up, we will move towards 100% company-owned trailers. All of the extra lease trailers will be gone in May of this year. Nice. So that's something very good for everybody. Yeah. Because they're spring ride, and all of our new trailers will be air ride, much better condition, paper spec. Because that's really our biggest commodity that we haul, and these trailers are spec just for paper.
With all the weight that's on it, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the actual trailer itself. The air ride kind of makes it a lot smoother ride for them. It's basically smooth as butter. Really.
Yeah, it's a lot smoother ride. Springs, they just bounce, where the air ride actually absorbs the bumps and doesn't send that shock back up to the rear of the cab of the trailer like the spring rides will do. So